What's up, everyone? Back here with another video, a cold case video, a true crime video. I hope you're all doing good, or at least hanging in there, staying strong, doing the best you can. But yeah, if you're a true crime fan like I am, cold cases being solved, let's get right to it.
On a frigid Monday morning outside Denver, Connie Large Bennett gets a disturbing phone call about her son Bruce and his wife Deborah.
Connie's brother called her because Bruce and Debbie hadn't shown up for work that morning. Bruce and Debbie worked for Bruce's uncle. They were the regional distributors of Bassett Furniture. And so they tried calling several times and didn't get an answer.
Connie and Deborah's brother Larry had just seen the couple and their two young daughters, Melissa and Vanessa, the night before.
It was a celebration of Melissa's birthday. She was turning 8. I remember the kids laughing and playing, and it was festive. Debbie made it special.
Connie was worried that something had happened in the home, so she raced over to the house. Nothing prepared her for what she was going to find inside.
They led me from the garage into the kitchen. As I entered, I looked to my right on the floor. I saw the body of Bruce Bennett. Bruce was struck about the head and face with a hammer, and I also observed that his throat had been cut.
We then entered the master bedroom, and there on the bed, I saw a female that was bludgeoned to death.
They took me into
This was personal. This was something
girls' bedroom.
personal.
I observed the body of Melissa Bennett, 7 years old. Melissa was also struck with a hammer, and she'd been sexually assaulted.
Every person who set foot in this crime scene, they'd get pale,
Pedophile,
they'd choke up.
murderer,
It was a level of brutality that was
pedophile,
really unheard of.
I was disgusted.
overkill
I
murder.
felt very bad for her that she had gone through this.
The brutal attack has left 3 dead.
7-year-old.
But there is a glimmer of hope.
I was advised at that time that when the fire rescue got to the scene, that Vanessa, who was 3 years old, was found between the wall and the bed.
She was clinging.
I forgot to tell I never do this, but I forgot this time. Lone survivor of her family's brutal murder gets justice 37 years later. I mean, 37 years later is a long time, but justice is justice. And I'm glad. I didn't know how old she was, so she was a 3-year-old. Thank God she made it.
The life when the firemen came in.
She was clinging to
They
life.
immediately grabbed her. They rushed her outside to the hospital and did everything they could to save her life.
Was that
I
her?
buy the same products you do.
I don't
only I get
care.
them much cheaper. I save hundreds of dollars a month.
I don't care,
by
dude.
doing this one.
Oh, was that her?
Can you tell me your first memory of being in the hospital?
I remember the sticky things on my
Short,
chest.
red hair, a bunch of tattoos.
That check your heart rate. I don't remember if I asked more than once, hey, where's my parents? I would assume that I would, as any child would.
You were only 3.
but I don't remember actually being told, hey, your parents are dead. I'm pretty sure I got the
She
picture.
was an adorable little girl. I mean, I'm not saying she's ugly today.
Detectives turned to the last people who saw the Bennetts alive. The guests at Melissa's
Pedophile
Connie
and
Bennett,
someone
that
who
would have been the
wanted
mother of
them
Bruce Bennett,
brutally murdered.
couldn't figure out why this had happened to her family. She said the birthday party took place the evening before. Connie was there, and then Connie's 2 sons, Richard and Daniel. They had cake, and they finally folded up around 9 o'clock.
I wasn't there that late, I know, because I had to travel the next day.
Richard told Connie, make sure you tell Bruce that the garage door is open and have him close it. She said she did, but Bruce, for some reason, didn't do it, and the door was left open. It was an easy mark, and I figured that's why he went in.
We never found the hammer that was used to commit the homicide. But there was a knife next to the driveway which was in the snow, and that was used to cut Bruce Bennett's throat.
Crime scene investigators are unable to pull a usable fingerprint off the knife. In Melissa and Vanessa's bedroom, CSI discovers another crucial piece of evidence.
Investigators at the time found semen actually on the carpet that was underneath Melissa. And then we also found on a comforter that was covering her body.
Whoever this guy
There's also
is
semen on
a
that.
pedophile.
We wanted DNA done on those items, if they could do it. But you're talking about the mid-'80s,
Yeah, DNA
our state crime lab, CBI,
didn't come into effect
said
until
they
like
weren't capable of
99,
doing it
2000.
January 10th, 1984 is when Patricia Smith was attacked in her home in Lakewood.
Patricia was sexually assaulted on the floor, bludgeoned around the head with a hammer.
Vanessa's head was bandaged, and her face, had multiple bandages on her face, and she was being spoken to by a therapist, and he was trying to ask her what had gone on.
I remember there was a time when I was younger, and people were asking about what did he look like. I don't remember anything. Nothing.
Once he started asking her about what had gone on,
It's hard.
she became very, very agitated, and they just stopped the interview.
When you're 3 years old,
Detectives hit a dead end. They have no eyewitnesses, and the physical evidence they have can't lead them to the killer.
I guarantee when they find this guy, he's gonna be. The years go by. 2001.
11 years later, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation is finally equipped to extract DNA profiles.
CBI found DNA which only one person out of 18 million could have deposited that DNA. They said, if you get this person, that's the person that did your crime right there. None of this DNA that came off these items coincide with anything from the family. Nobody in the family was involved in this murder.
2018.
Unable to ID a suspect through DNA databases, Chief Deputy D.A. Kellner and Detective Connor team up with Dr. Colleen Fitzpatrick,
Whoever did
a
this,
genetic
I think,
genealogist.
not only was a
He
pedophile,
would go into
but knew the
open
family.
databases that had the DNA information from like 23andMe
Why would you
and
slaughter?
Ancestry.com, and
I'm just guessing.
start
I'm just
mining
guessing.
different areas looking for close
could be
matches to the
completely
DNA
wrong.
that she had.
Detective Connor shares the killer's DNA profile with Dr. Fitzpatrick.
She goes, I'll be back in a few days. And it was less than a week, and she called back and told me. She gave me the last name of Ewing. That name had never appeared on any of the reports that I could find. And then on July 10th, 2018, at about 9:15 in the evening, I received a call from my boss. They got a CODIS hit on the Bennett case. I go, from where? And he goes, some inmate out in Nevada.
I got a phone call from Steve Connor.
What if you could generate a new income stream just by simply loading up some
I
mini
don't
ebooks
care.
online
I don't
onto Amazon?
care.
He says, you won't believe it. We know who our suspect is. He's been in prison since August of 1984. I said, well, what's his name?
The individual's name was an Alex Ewing.
Investigators pore over 58-year-old Alex Ewing's criminal record. They discovered he'd been arrested just 12 days after the Bennetts were murdered.
Not long after the Bennett family murders, Ewing popped up on the radar in Kingman, Arizona, where he allegedly bludgeoned a man with a rock.
Okay, I was wrong.
Bludgeoned nearly to death 2 people with an axe handle. He was captured in Nevada.
You didn't know the
and he was
family.
ultimately convicted.
But he's
of
a
attack.
psychopath, a sociopath. Just killing people for no reason, like brutally.
I'll jump right in. Looking at several cases in Aurora wherein people were attacked in their homes. The evidence we have leads to you. Directly to you.
I mean, this is just crazy, man.
I think you know what I'm talking about. I can tell by the way you're looking at me.
I'm thinking about what you said. I'm just like down. I'm thinking I need to talk to an attorney or somebody.
Ewing was charged with first-degree murder of the Bennett family, Bruce, Deborah, and Melissa Bennett.
Prosecutors are unable to try Ewing for the 2 hammer attacks in which the victims survived because Colorado law in 1984 assigned a mere 3-year time limit to file attempted murder charges.
We ultimately decided, from the statute of limitations perspective, that we couldn't go forward with
I hate the statute of limitations. I hate it. It should be thrown out. It should be thrown out. I mean, if you get evidence like 50 years later of like a rape, it all depends on which state in the United States. Let's say 100 years, like 80 years later. I'm trying to think if there's any statute of limitations on murder. Not attempted murder, but actual murder. I just hate statute of limitations. It's so stupid. It's one of the stupidest things I have ever heard in the judicial system.
with these other cases.
Prosecutors can charge Ewing with the Lakewood murder.
The district attorney for the 1st Judicial District in Jefferson County charged with Mr. Ewing has alleged that he also committed the first-degree murder of Patricia Smith from just a few days earlier in 1984.
Alex Ewing pleads not guilty to 4 counts of first-degree murder. The Bennett case is first to go to trial.
Ewing's motivation for committing this crime was absolute bloodlust for violence. When I heard count number 1 come back as guilty,
he's an
the next
evil human being.
The jury convicts Alex Ewing on all 3.
He looks like a dad on some
The
TV
judge
show,
was particularly succinct,
like some.
calling it an abomination, and sentenced him in Colorado to 3 consecutive life sentences.
Ewing is still awaiting trial for the murder of Patricia Smith.
That guy was just a monster. He was just bloodthirsty. I want to know how many others he's killed and raped and just an evil mother. Anyways, take care, be safe, peace.